We have put together, I think, the most extensive and inclusive voter fraud organization in the history of American politics. Voter fraud. We have put together voter fraud. We have put together voter fraud, the most extensive voter fraud organization in the history of American politics.
All right, everyone, welcome back to the Prepared Mind channel. Voter fraud. This is incredible. Today we've got some big news on voter fraud. None other than the leader, the head of the National Intelligence, the director, the DNI, Director of National Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, had a statement to say, right? Kind of a jaw dropper, kind of an eye opener. She says that evidence shows that voting machines can be tampered with to steal elections. Well, Joe Biden said they put together the most extensive voter fraud organization ever. Tulsi does that too. Now, wait. Tulsi is the head of the DNI, Director of National Intelligence. Shouldn't something like voter fraud be taken up by criminal investigators like the Federal Bureau of Investigation? The Attorney General's office? Right. So why is it that Tulsi Gabbard is doing this? Could it be that Pam Bondi is full of shit, that Kash Patel is full of shit? Well, don't worry about Pam and Kash. They were busy today, I think in Miami, laying flowers for fallen police. Now, while I respect that move, how about if they lay some flowers for all the children that were murdered by federal agents in Waco, Texas? Or how about some flowers for the infant that was shot through the fucking head by federal agents at Ruby Ridge? How about some flowers for those who died in January 6th? How about some flowers for all those January 6th prisoners that have committed suicide because of the FBI, now the head of the Washington field office, who manufactured crimes? Bullshit. He was a patriot hunter. He's now been put in charge by Kash Patel of the Washington field office. Yeah, they're not going to do anything. I fucking lost it with them. I'm done. They're busy doing another photo op. What are they fucking practicing for Vogue magazine and GQ? Look how cool we are. I'm sick of this shit. This is not 1990. This is not 2003, where we play games in front of a camera and that's good enough. A couple of sound bites, that'll satisfy. Well, hopefully Tulsi, I don't know, she should not refer them to the Attorney General for prosecution, because the Attorney General won't do shit. You know what else happened today? You know what else came out? That the arrest that was made on the MS-13 leader, I think in Virginia, where both Kash Patel and Pam Bondi were on site. Apparently, it was not a huge MS-13 leader. It was a fucking photo op, bullshit, plastic banana, good time, rock and roll, PR effort to make us give them more time and think that they're doing a good job. What is wrong with these fucking people? What is wrong with Washington, D.C.? What is wrong with America? What is wrong with humanity? I'm going to share a story, but I'm going to keep the names private to protect the innocent. I was talking to someone that I really respect today, and they said people are losing their minds. He was driving to work, and some asshole cut in front of him and brake checked him, essentially. And he kept his head cool. He somehow ended up getting around this person and continuing on, and the son of a bitch did it again. And then he actually pulled into the same work parking lot where my friend works. And the guy couldn't leave it alone. He had to actually make an issue out of it. And if he had messed with this person I know, he would have been a fucking grease smear on the asphalt. But the guy ended up being told, look, you have two choices. You can either throw dukes or you can leave. And the guy ended up leaving, but not until he was put in the back of a police cruiser and taken downtown. Why are they so confrontational, the leftists? Why are Republicans, supposed Republicans, so fucking weak? I don't get it. I just don't get it. It's Friday Eve, folks, but that's no excuse for being retarded. Someone tried telling me you can't say retard. And I said, watch me. Retarded, retarded, retarded. I said words like retarded are making a comeback because they apply. You've got to, it's applicable. Here's another one. Is he stupid or is he retarded? You'll know this name. Are you ready? Geraldo Rivera. Now he's Trump's buddy again. He loves Trump. Geraldo Rivera, quote, people really dig the guy. I could sing his praises forever. What is this BS? Why now? Why Geraldo, the sack of shit, claiming he loves Trump? Why is it Geraldo and not someone else? Why? Right? We know Geraldo's a liar. All these leftists are liars. All these social media stars are fucking sellouts. I don't think of myself as a star. Certainly haven't sold out because, well, I'm still living in a bunker. In any event, folks, what the hell is going on? Is it something in the water? Is it something in the air? Why are people so fucking retarded now? Why? How? What? Where? When? There's too many questions. Folks, it is Thursday. Get your comments down below. Please do them in all caps. All caps. Believe it or not, I'm running the show solo. Well, for the time being, Uman's on his way back. He's dodging traffic. Hopefully he's not dodging bullets. But you know how the greater Chicago area is. Well, I hope you don't know from firsthand experience. In any event, yeah, I could sing his praises forever. Because, you know, left-wing media types, they love Trump. I just don't get it. I really don't. It is crazy. Now, there's something really wrong. Senator Joni Ernst, and I covered this a little bit. This is beyond irony, right? People go, that's ironic. That's satirical. That's humorous. This is beyond irony, right? Once again, very quickly, federal workers came to their work to protest having to come to the office. Federal workers want to work at home, but in order to properly protest, they come to the office, which is what they're protesting about. Why don't they protest that they have to protest? Right? It's beyond irony, folks. It truly is. Now, Tulsi Gabbard is saying, hey, election fraud. What fraud? What crimes? Wait, how much do you have to see, folks, before you realize we're being fucking hoodwinked here? Right? They found all kinds of fraud, trillions of dollars in fraud. Which departments it goes to? Who authorizes it? Maybe not in 100% of the cases, but most of them, they know. They know how much money, what department, who authorized it, who received it. Why has there not been a single fucking arrest in Washington, D.C.? People say, calm down, give them time. All I have to do is not come to a complete stop at a stop sign. My wheels still barely turning. Ticket, instantly. Oh, you want to talk back to the policeman? Just get him back in the squad car. We're going to go downtown right now. All right. How big does the crime have to be? I don't know. Let's try this. How about sedition? Interfering with government operations. Well, that worked for the January 6th protesters. Well, how about this? How about treason then? Well, in the United States Senate, a whistleblower shows up and drops a bomb right there and says Meta, a.k.a. Facebook, a.k.a. Mark Zuckerberg. This whistleblower says Meta, Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg was aiding China in undermining U.S. national security. That Meta, Facebook, Zuckerberg worked hand in hand with the Chinese government to what? Censor us, collect information. Don't worry, folks. Don't worry. Pam Bondi and Cash are all over this. No, wait, no. They're not all over this. They're not going to arrest him for sedition or treason or anything. They're in a big club, and we ain't in it. There's two sets of laws out there, those for us and those for them. There's laws for you and me, and there's laws for the elite. As long as you have enough money, you don't have to worry about the laws. Well, if anything happened with Kash Patel, if anything at all happened, this is a good start. Trump has replaced him, Kash Patel, as the acting alcohol, tobacco, firearms, and explosives bureaucracy chief, and replaced him with Dan Driscoll, who is the Army Secretary. Good. Thank you, Mr. Trump. Thank you, President Trump. Now get rid of and replace Kash at the FBI. Right? He, in my opinion, like the worthless Pam Bondi, is great at public appearances and photo ops and sounding cool, but he doesn't do jack shit. Unfucking believable, folks. Here we are. Let's see. It's April 10th. Trump took office on January 20th. He appointed them in February. It's been months. I have not forgot about any of this. Election fraud, illegals, Epstein files. How about this Adam Schiff? How about Anthony Weiner? How about Hillary Clinton? How about Chuck Schumer? How about, just fucking name them. Right? You can't swing a dead cat in Washington, D.C. without hitting someone who at the very least is seditious and most likely treasonous and always criminal. It's just unbelievable. Now, I want to say this. One of the hardest people to get through is producing some of the best work. And that would be the Secretary of Defense, Pete Hegseth. Right? Not just in one branch of the military, not just in like infantry, but they are dismantling woke programs, diversity, equity, and inclusion across the military-wide. Good, right? One of the questions always was, do we need people with psychological disorders in the military with guns and potentially dangerous authority? Now, authority vested in someone who has proven themselves to be intelligent and trustworthy is different than vesting authority in someone who has a psychological disorder like homosexuality, transgender, or racist attitudes. And you couple that with weapons, rockets, bombs, missiles, helicopters, high explosives. Yeah, we don't need that in the military. So I hope Secretary of Defense Hegseth continues to do what he's doing. Literally keep doing what he's doing. People are fighting back. See, and I think we are correct, you and I. And I'm seeing more and more of this in social media as well as people I talk to on the street. It's not about trusting the plan. No. Show me some arrests and I'll trust the plan, but that doesn't mean I'm going to stop. Right? Trump is continuing to do what Trump does. And he's doing a hell of a job at it. But trusting Pam, trusting Cash, trusting Dan Bongino. Remember how tough they all talked? Remember how awesome they all wanted us to believe they were? Oh, I get in there, I'm going to fucking hot air. Right? You and me taking action is how we win. Being an activist to protect yourself is how we win, how we take care of this. Contacting your local government representatives, getting a hold of your state representatives, getting a hold of your congressmen and senators in Washington, D.C., writing Pam and Cash, Trump and Congress works, folks, and we need more pressure on them. Now, Dan Bongino is cracking. I know Dan knows that he is sold out. It started with him going, yeah, my number one priority is Israel. No, your number one priority should be the United States of America, fucknut. But by saying that, he essentially told us, I am a foreign agent. I mean, what if he said, my number one priority is France? People would be like, France? My number one priority is Finland. Finland? My number one priority is Iceland. Where the fuck is Iceland? Right? But people go, my number one priority is Israel. And you're like, So they're going to use a fake religious wannabe bullshit theocracy as an excuse to sell out to another country. I'm telling you, folks, people have had it with this stuff. And it is showing up in social media everywhere. In conversations I have with complete strangers, politically speaking. People I know, they've come to trust me enough to talk to me, and I bring in a little bit of politics, and then I listen. And what I'm hearing is they're not fucking happy with these people. I'm like, well, what are you doing about it? And they say, what can I do about it? I go, write, call, phone, text, message, whatever it takes in Washington, D.C. Get the information out there. You do that, you're good. You're better off at the very least. But I went on, it was either, I think it was Kash Patel or maybe it was Pam Bondi's Twitter X post. And I just wanted to know, as they play this game of, we're respecting the fallen federal officers, blah, blah, blah. 3/4 of them, 3 out of 4, were telling them, stop the bullshit, stop the charades, stop playing games, stop the photo ops, and fucking arrest somebody. Do what you were hired to do. Right? So it was not 1 in 4. It wasn't just some here and there. It was literally almost all of them. Criticism, criticism, criticism. And some very harsh criticisms. You think I'm bad? These people are saying harsh shit. They're nowhere near close to breaking the law, but they're being very harsh. That's why Dan Bongino was cracking. You guys just don't understand. You need to. Dan, I don't give a fuck. Like I said, I crossed the line this far, and I'm slammed to the ground, tased, chemical agents, 5 of you cops on top of me, handcuffing me, leg cuffing me, fucking wrapping my head in a fucking burlap sack and thrown in a van. Right? Well, what did John do? Why'd you guys do that to him? Well, he used a harsh tone of voice. Right? They'll use any excuse to fucking destroy us, but them? No. I tell you. Get this. Oh, by the way, again, questions down below. Please get them in all caps. all caps, so I can pick them out, have some fun. But before we get to that, because I've got another 10 minutes here at the Prepared Mind monologue, a January 6th defendant named Ryan Zink gets a protective order lifted off of his case. It's a major smash and victory. And guess who's fighting against him? The Department of Justice, because they want to keep facts hidden. They want to keep the truth veiled. The Department of Justice, isn't that Pam Bondi and the Attorney General's office? Aren't they the Department of Justice? Why isn't she, as the Attorney General, or Cash as head of the FBI, why aren't they allowing facts about the FBI, the Washington, D.C. Metropolitan Police, all of the politicians like Pelosi involved? Why aren't all of the January 6 facts allowed to come out? Why not? I think that's a fair fucking question. Who is Pam protecting? Who is Cash hiding? I think they both need to be fired. And let's put some more people in there. And if they don't do the job, we'll fire them and fire them and fire them. And the more of them that get fired, the more I think everybody is going to realize that Washington is cooked. There is no redeeming quality there other than Trump himself and Pete Hegseth. And hell, Tulsi Gabbard has surprised me. Tulsi Gabbard has surprised me. Great. RFK Jr. apparently compromised. Now he thinks children should be getting jabbed with the jibbity jab. Justice is out the fucking window, folks. Justice is out the window. I want Tulsi to name the names. I want her to expose the organizations that cheated in 2020 and 2022 and 2024. I want arrests. I want them to make arrests, stop the fraud by showing there's justice for us. That's what I want. I don't think it's asking too much, do you? I don't think it's asking too much, but apparently it is. It really is. Now in New York City. Is it New York City? Fuck. We'll figure it out here. The young man who was killed by another young man. The DA has told the public, basically revealed that the teen track stars killer will not receive the death penalty or receive life in prison without parole. Unbelievable. The only good thing about this is that Give, Send, Go told Carmelo, you don't get the $150,000 that was collected in Give, Send, Go because they don't allow fundraising to defend criminals. Now, me personally, I don't give a fuck if you want to Give, Send, Go to someone to help them in their criminal defense. Because maybe they are innocent. Maybe they are guilty. It's your money. You ought to be able to do it. But the hypocrisy here. The January 6 protesters were not allowed to collect money to defend themselves. So Give, Send, Go at least takes his money away from him. Little Carmelo, who stabbed a teenager in the heart and killed him on the spot because he was spoken to rudely. Now, I think everyone knows that the person that was killed, the young man, was a white teenager, and that Carmelo, well, he's basically caramel colored. He's a black man, a black teenager. And I found numerous examples on X, social media, of people, black men, saying enough of this shit. It's making the entire community look stupid. It's making me look stupid. It's making us all look stupid. This is not what Black America is about. defending the indefensible, defending a fucking murderer. One of them was one of my favorites, Tommy Sotomayor. That dude's funny and smart, and there's just a bunch of them out there going, enough of this shit. But folks, they're trying for a race war. The people in charge, the people pulling the strings, are trying for a race war. On a daily basis, folks, I run into people from all over the country and all over the planet. I had some of the best laughs at work that I've had today, and I don't even know what fucking country these guys were from. Barely speaking any English, but we figured out what's going on. It's not that hard, but they're making us mad with shit like this. Now, as far as, again, the district attorney saying, well, he's not going to get the death penalty and he won't get life without parole. I don't think that they need to worry about the money, because witnesses, the judge, jury members, they're going to rule in favor of this kid's defense. His dad, by the way, the young man that was murdered, his dad is rather pathetic. He's either pathetic and a retard, or he's suffering from some sort of shock, emotional, psychological shock. It's absolutely unbelievable. I don't know, folks. What do you think? Am I way off on this? No. We've seen enough of it already. We really have. I'm embarrassed for these fucking people because of what they're saying and doing. They're embarrassing themselves. They're embarrassing America. It's incredible. But what do you do? What do you do? Today was an amazing day, by the way, on the stock market. Stock market, that was a change of gears, John. Oh, you bet it was. Bitcoin down over $3,000 currently, down below 80,000. Whoops. I guess it's not digital gold. I guess it's not stable. I guess it's not a store of wealth. The Dow, well, it closed at basically 1,000 down. At one point, I think it was close to 2,000 down again. This is what's known as whipsaw, whiplash, or just getting whipped. Crazy business. The entire tariff issue, all of this, folks, buckle up. Shit has hit the fan. And we've talked about this in the past. It's not just one thing, which is what, when I initially did the channel, I thought, well, it'll be one thing does the SHTF. No, it's the everything SHTF, kind of like we're in the everything bubble. The bubble. It's housing. It's commercial real estate. No, it's the stock market. No, it's the currency. It's international trade. Yeah, they're all in a bubble. And the bubble is breaking. And it's a process, not an event. It's going to take years, not a day or two. Gold, on the other hand, closed $114 up on the day. Currently, it's sitting at $111 up on the day. It is massive, folks. Over 3.5% for gold. A shiny rock. What do you think is causing that to happen? I mean, silver was up big too, over 2% in one day. Well, gold went up because confidence in the dollar is down, because there's international shit hitting the fan. Right? It is a mess out there. Are you protected? For yourself personally, you need food, water, shelter, clothing, medicine, means of self-defense. You need a plan, folks. Right? Part of your plan is protecting your wealth, right? Gold and silver. I asked a friend if I could borrow an ounce of gold. I'm going to see if I can get him to trust me. It's only $3,200, man. You can trust me. Another couple of weeks when it's 4,000, maybe a different story. The idea of gold going up over $100 a day. We've now got 2 days in a row where it's traveled up to $120 in each day. Yesterday it settled back down, but then it just grew again and exploded out today. I'm expecting more of that. A lot more of it. In fact, a lot of people are. China didn't like the fact that they're going back and forth, Trump and Xi Jinping, right? The memes are out there, all kinds of crazy stuff. But China has $1 trillion in treasury bills, treasury bonds, T-bills, D-bonds. They're probably offing them, selling them into the market. That's what the numbers indicate. That's what the commentary is. And what are they going to do with that cash? Buy gold. That would explain the gold price going up dramatically. And just so everyone understands, the American retail investor has having nothing to do with gold still. This is all big boys and big players, folks. Big boys and big players out there. The question is, are you going to sit by and be destroyed? No, you got food, water, shelter, clothing, medicine, right? You got all those things. If you got wealth, protect what you can. It may seem insignificant. When this was purchased for me, it was $18. It's now double that. Once you add in the premium, it's about double. What does that tell you? 5-6 years, double. Right? So if you got $1,000 in the next 1 to 5 years, it's going to be doubled. It's not a bad way to save your money. The other way is food, inflation of food. Right now, food prices are coming down, though. Thank you, Mr. Trump. But it's a crazy world. Now, you know what time it is, right? It is now time for the inner circle. We got Uman in the driver's seat, that being the moderator seat with the big blue wrench. He's ready to go, so let's do the inner circle. All right, Mr. Uman, I'm glad you're here, man. You safe and sane, you got all 10 fingers? Yep, he's showing me he's got all 10 of them. He didn't get them whacked off or knocked off. All right, have we got some good stuff to do? See, senor, there it is. It's my good buddy Orlando from up north. And boy, when we say north, I think he's still got snow on the ground. Anyways, he says, we are at the point where we absolutely cannot trust anybody to represent us or do what we want them to do. I think we're at that point. I think we're learning. I think we've learned. I think we come to that conclusion, Orlando. He says we have to take control and do it ourselves. That is how we will get the results we want. Now, the cool thing is, in regular life, that works. In regular life, I'm not enjoying this job. This job isn't working, and we can take action and leave that job and go get another job, or leave that job and start a business, and we can take control of something, right? And then it's up to us. Results good, results bad, at least we're responsible. But taking control of the government, there's only a couple of ways to do that, my friend. One of them is the way I recommend, and that is to write, call, text, comment, email, and tell them repeatedly, without mincing words, do it. Tell them what to do. You are my servant. You are a public servant. This is what you were brought in for. This is what you said you would do. Cash, Pam, Dan Bongino. These are the things you said you would do. Fucking do them. Now, the end of our authority there is when we put a dot for a period and hit the send button. That is what you can do directly, and I recommend it. Become an activist politically and make a difference by pressuring these people. Like I said, Dan Bongino is trying to make excuses. He's trying to get some air cover for their fuck-ups. He feels the pressure. I'm sure he feels the guilt. I'm sure his own friends are like, hey, Dan, you're a fucking pussy. You said you were going to kick ass. You talk tough. And here you are hiding behind Kash Patel's skirt. I'm saying these things as a fucking insult so they understand. This is what America thinks of you. You're a bunch of pussies. You're a bunch of sissies, fucking cowards, weak, lily-livered, spineless, yellow cowards. Until I see a fucking arrest. I mean, pencil neck Schiff is committing sedition right in Congress with the fucking media right there saying he's going to interfere and impede government operations. Fucking Schiff says he is going to investigate Trump for insider trading. There's a fucking head scratcher. There's a fucking head scratcher right there. Are you shitting me? The guy is just daring someone to fucking arrest him, right? Unfucking believable. So there's that. There's that. So how do we get these fucking people to do what we want? It's crazy, folks. It really is crazy. And then I've got this other little cute book right here. Right here. You're going to love this shit. There's another way, Mr. Orlando, that when you say we have to do it ourselves, there is a document. It's called the Declaration of Independence. It is organic law. It is real law. It is so sacred to America and those who love freedom that it is protected. There were many of them made, many copies, many were signed. One was sent to jackass King George. But there's the line. This is our other course of action that is direct. While evils are sufferable, right? Accordingly, all experience hath shown that mankind are more disposed to suffer while evils are sufferable than to right themselves by abolishing the forms to which they are accustomed. But when a long train of abuses and usurpations, that means stealing our authority, pursuing invariably the same object, which evinces a design to reduce them under absolute despotism. This is where it is, Orlando. It is their right. It is your right. It is their duty. It is your duty to throw off such government and provide new guards for their future security. That part of the paragraph scares the ever-loving shit out of Washington, D.C. Law enforcement from local to state to federal love to say that the founding fathers, the revolutionary patriots that said, no more killing us, stealing our money, arresting us, raping our wives, raping our daughters, burning our farms, interfering with commerce, turning loose enemies against us, bringing in foreign invaders to kill us. Taxation, anyone? If you resist that, you're a terrorist. That's what police like to say these days when they sit around and talk about the Declaration. The founding fathers were terrorists. That's your other option. It is your right, it is your duty to throw off such government and replace it. Tall order, isn't it? That's a pretty tall order. That day may end up coming. I believe that even back in 1860s, we're just going to use that round number there, the South said, you know what, we're just leaving. We don't want to take over D.C. We just want to leave. Leave us the fuck alone. We're going to secede, leave the Union because of your abuses. And it took over 10 years for people to get there from where it was first discussed. And secession is being discussed again. There's two ways, folks. You can get rid of the government by forcefully facing it, or you can just leave it. In both cases, you're going to have to fight with guns, knives, sticks and stones, and maybe even your hands. It's not a pretty option. The government knows nobody wants that. And so they play to the idea that, well, we'll just keep suffering the evils. I'm not going to tell anyone to do anything violent or illegal, but it is your right and it is your duty. And fuck you, Amy Coney Barrett. I'm sorry, Amy Coney Barrett, Supreme Court Justice, who says the Declaration of Independence isn't law. How the fuck can it be law and have the force and effect of law the way it was used to get rid of, well, King George and his law, his claim to ownership of America, unless the Declaration of Independence is law and part of our customs and our traditions. It is the foundation on which the Constitution was built. Unbelievable times we live in, folks. Orlando, great topic. People, think. Who represents us? What are we paying for it? What are we getting? Is it getting better? Are there foreign adversaries in this country? Are the king's men in our faces? Are our wives and daughters being raped? Is our money being stolen from us? Are we being overtaxed? Are we being overregulated? Are the courts a sham? Are the regulatory officers, the modern day redcoats, are they out of control and just doing their duty, but violating our rights all the same? Oh, the similarities and parallels are absolutely fucking astounding. 250 years later. In 1976, folks, I was 6 years old, and our nation had its bicentennial, its 200-year anniversary. You guys remember that? 1976 was their bicentennial, 2 centuries. But wait a minute, the country, the Constitution, the government wasn't founded until 1789. So how could 1776 be the start of America? Because that was when America was born. Our law, the Declaration of Independence, is law. And in 2026, we will be 250 years old as a nation. Born in blood and born in anger and frustration at abusive, tyrannical government. Ooh, man, before I get myself in trouble, where are we going to go next? And we got Darla Gibson checking in. And she says, I had such high hopes for Dan Bongino. You want to know why you did, Darla? Because he's convincing. He's convincing. He's authoritative. He came from a position of authority within law enforcement and the Secret Service. He spoke poorly, to be polite, of someone that America and freedom-loving people around the world despise, Hillary Clinton. And he talked convincingly on his social media podcast. Like he's an ass kicker and he'll fix problems and he's not afraid. So like you, I had high hopes for Dan Bongino. Now, while we were waiting for Dan Bongino to find some place in the Trump administration or the DOJ, Department of Justice, we were noticing already that Pam Bondi was a loser and a liar. And I think we were already learning at that point that Kash Patel was a loser and a liar. Now, those are pretty harsh words. Loser. They're not doing their job. They're kowtowing. They're bending. And liars because of what they said they would do. Well, we're going to release the Epstein files day one. I'm gonna close the FBI. I'm gonna fire all the bad ones. I'm gonna turn it into a fucking museum. I'm gonna fix the problems. We're gonna get rid of the bad guys. We're gonna arrest the evil. Darla, it's hard. We put our hopes in weak men and weak women in Washington, D.C., and then we become disappointed. And many people are just disillusioned, and they never even came to the hope that you had. Many people are so disillusioned, so pissed off, so certain that government's full of liars, they never even had hope. Well, what's that saying? It is better to love and lost than to never have loved at all. Well, is it better to have hope and lose it than to never have any hope at all? Well, unless you have both, you don't know. We had hopes for Dan and Cash and Pam, and they turned out to be weak. Absolutely weak. I wonder what they sold out for. I wonder if you can get odds in Vegas of what they sold out for. $1 million? Would you sell your name for $1 million to the entire American public, the entire world population, so they could see you talking tough one day? You get your $1 million and you come out the next day and you're a fucking sock puppet doing what they tell you to do. Right? Over here, what are you going to do? Well, I'm going to arrest everybody and kick some ass. Yeah, those bad guys will run from me. A day later, well, we got some paperwork to do and just be patient and we'll kind of get to it. And it's cool. We arrested a drug dealer yesterday with the local police down in Miami, right? It's terrible. I'm sorry, Darla. I really am, in all truth. I'm very sorry. These people they lied to us. They absolutely lied to us. They may have had intentions at one point, but here's the deal. Resign. Now, I can imagine, John, what are you going to do? I'm going to go to D.C. You made me this person in charge, and I'm going to arrest people. And then I get to Washington, D.C., and if they were to say, okay, John, here's the deal. You ain't arresting no fucking buddy. You try that, we're going to kill you, your wife, your kids, your mom, your dogs, your pets, your friends, your fucking high school teachers. We're going to kill everybody. I'd be like, I either think this person's full of shit and I try arresting people and everyone I know and everything I ever loved is dead. Well, here's an idea. Okay. Hey, John, what are you going to do if you were put in the position that Kash Patel's in? Well, I'll tell you what I would do. I'm going to go in there and I'm going to fucking arrest the bad guys. I'm going to get the Epstein list. I'm going to start at the very fucking top. People like Podesta, Schiff, Roberts, Clinton, they're all going fucking down. And then I send my people out and I fucking arrest them. And I put them in jail. And then I go in front of a camera and I go, the deep state confronted me. The CIA, the FBI, and all the rogue agents and all of the intelligence services told me they were going to kill me and my family and my dogs and my friends, my mom, and my high school teachers. So if any of us die, it was the CIA, the FBI, the DNI, the NSA, Mossad, MI6, and you just fucking tell the world, if I die, it's because of them. Your government is going to murder me for doing my fucking job. And you fucking dare them. You fucking dare them. Yeah, they put a bullet through Kennedy's head. Yeah, they put a bullet through Trump's ear. What will John F. Kennedy be remembered for? What's the single most powerful thing JFK is remembered for? His assassination. I mean, he had some great speeches about, we're going to go to the moon and do the difficult things, right? He had some good speeches, but it was the headshot. It was the Daley Plaza assassination. And then the world realizing over the next couple of decades why and who. And the very fact that the United States government, folks, since 1963, November 20th, so maybe November 20th or 21st, they started their lying. They have lied, covered up, denied what they've done. The Secret Service, the FBI, the CIA are all complicit. Mossad, Israel, complicit. The mafia, complicit. Cuban exiles, complicit. They're all part of it. Yet, there they are. Anyways, Darla, thank you. It's a great topic. And where it takes us psychologically is an incredible place. You can't trust these people in D.C. They're too easily scared, and they're not willing to die for what they believe. If it's worth living for, America, it's worth dying for. Now, I understand General Patton's statement. You don't win a war by dying for your country. You win by making the other dumb bastard die for his country. It's a great fucking quote from General Patton. You make the other dumb bastard die for his country. That fucking Patton was something, I tell you. Now, here's the deal. Right? Young men have, in times past, both voluntarily and involuntarily, died for their countries. Speaking of America, particularly the Revolution, the War of 1812, right, the Civil War, World War I, World War II, the Korean War, Vietnam, the Afghan War. How about all the wars that we went to that nobody knows a fucking thing about? There's nothing in our service record books. There's no ribbons. There's no medals. There's no evidence that people went overseas and did missions and got fucking killed. They didn't want to die, but they risked their lives knowing that they could. Why is it that Kash Patel, Dan Bongino, Pam Bondi, they might die if they actually do what they're supposed to because they've been threatened? Why don't they take that chance? Because they're fucking cowards. That's why. They're fucking cowards. I'll say it again. They're fucking cowards. Unless they step up and start arresting people and tell us, oh, look at that. It was all part of the plan. Trust the plan. Look at all these arrests. Yeah, Hillary, Schiff. I'll be the first one to commend them. Hang on to that thought, Mr. Uman. Thank you. Look at all the young men that have picked up a rifle as soldiers and Marines and gone off to fight wars and died. Because they're not cowards. They died for an ideal, a purpose that's in their head and in their heart. It's their love of America, their love for their family, their love for their faith. That freedom and liberty are worth protecting and preserving and risking your life for. So Uman says, dogs with the loudest barks have the least amount of bite. It's easy to talk tough on social media, but when the rubber hits the road, they got nothing. And that's exactly where we're at. We got hope in one hand and a pile of shit called the Department of Justice and the Attorney General's office. Now, Merrick Garland, that motherfucker called all of us, domestic terrorists, parents, veterans. That piece of shit who's now in charge of the Washington office for the FBI, he had no problem going after every single J6er. Whether they were on the steps and in Congress or just in Washington, D.C., he went and found people had nothing to do with it, and he fucking arrested them anyways. The political left don't give a fuck, folks. At the very least, they're brave as fuck. They'll arrest anybody. They'll kill anybody. They'll set houses on fire. They'll fucking rob stores. They'll loot stores. They'll murder people. At the very least, the left have the balls to fucking go through with their ambitions. Burn, loot, murder. They'll attack old people, They'll attack girls. They'll gang up on people. I think they're chicken shit, but at least they're brave enough to do what they fucking say they're going to do. Even if they're saying, well, we're chicken shit, but we're going to attack 10-1. I'm not impressed with these people in DC, folks. There's absolutely no reason to be impressed with them. Right? I tell the government says, hey, where's your tax money, John? April 15th is coming right up, 5 more days. And I go, you know what? I paid taxes last year. I paid taxes the year before, going all the way back to the first year I paid fucking taxes in 1985. All the fucking way back. Then the government's going to look at me and go, yeah, but what did you do for us lately? Where's your quarterlies, John? Where's your tax money? Doesn't matter what I did last year and for decades. Nope, fuck you. What did you give? What do you need to give? What should you give the government now? Okay, Pam, Cash, Dan, I don't want to hear what you did last year or 5 years ago or for the last several decades. What are you fucking doing for us now? Photo ops, television appearances, sporting events, fucking photo ops while arresting a low-level MS-13 gang member? Really? Showing up and taking credit for a drug bust? Really? I didn't cover many questions today. I think we've gotten 2 in. You guys are awesome. Ooh, man, I think we got time for another. I'll be as quick as I can, and it's Diving Frog. And he says, John, that's all good staying on Washington's ass, but we've been writing, calling, and talking for decades. It's sounding a lot like socialism. Did you really expect anything less than what we get now? Yes. Fucking AI did. We were told Trump will never be president again. We were told that. The left swore they would either kill him or have him in prison, and they failed. Why? Because we've been writing, calling, and talking and supporting Trump and supporting the Make America Great Again effort, supporting the ideals and concepts of freedom, liberty, justice, and truth. So writing, calling, and talking about it has had an impact. It has a very positive impact. Trump won the election. Folks, they thought they were going to win with some cheating in 2016. Fucking Trump surprised them. They pulled out all the fucking stops in 2020, and we got more votes for a guy who never campaigned and slept in his fucking basement. Joe Biden, 2020. They had to pull back on the reins a little bit. Right? 2024, they lost resoundingly. The Democrats always get this many votes. Biden got this many. Kamala got back down here. Trump, on the other hand, went up. Yes, I did expect more because of, not from Washington, Mr. Diving Frog. Not from these fucking bureaucrats. I expect more, shall we say, obedience to us. And I see it explained in a lot of different ways. One of them was in speaking to Senator John Thune and Speaker of the House, Maggot Mike Johnson, when they're told, you were not elected and put in power by the Republican Party. You were elected and put in power by the Make America Great Again Trump supporters. So do your fucking jobs. Pam Bondi was not put in charge by the Republican Party. Neither was Cash. Neither was Dan. Who do they serve? Right? Hand them a nice plate and ask them this question. With whom does one serve it? Right? Who are they serving, folks? Are they serving me and you? No. Can we pressure them to serve us? We should, because it will expose who they are actually serving. They're serving themselves, and they're serving evil. If you land on the side of evil and you're serving it, you yourself are evil. Cash can pull his head out of his ass. So can Dan, so can Pam, or they can continue to sell out and be cowardly, just like Amy Coney Barrett, just like Chief Justice John Roberts. just like Mitch McConnell, just like Chuck Schumer, just like everyone who's a fucking sellout, and you know it. But I think we should stay all over them and stay on top. Not give them a chance to breathe, catch their breath, make up a bullshit story. We need to hold them accountable with social pressure. Social media put on social pressure, and it got Trump elected. That is our one tool, short of the Declaration of Independence. Short of that. One more time before I say goodnight to you all. But when a long train of abuses and usurpations, pursuing invariably the same object, evinces a design to reduce them under absolute despotism, it is their right, it is their duty to throw off such government and to provide new guards for their future security. God bless you all. Semper Fi.